A good late afternoon. Thanks for joining us, Sage here, and you're watching Kalkine TV live from Sydney. This is the last show of the day, the last trade. There's no better way to wind down the day than with the market closing commentary. So let's get started. And in today's show, we'll look at the overall ASX 200's performance of the day and also explore the gainers and the losers. And this will be followed by the shares that grabbed the limelight today, such as Nearmap, Chalice Mining, AusNet Services, Nine Entertainment, Grain Corp, BHP, plus many more. We'll also share the trending updates from the Asian markets in the last segment, along with a special report on cryptocurrencies. So let's dive straight in. And the Australian shares ended in the red for the fourth consecutive session on Thursday as a spike in the US inflation curbed investors' appetites for riskier assets. And the US consumer prices surged at the fastest pace since 1990 last month, raising fears of monetary policy tightening by the Federal Reserve. The market sentiment was further dented by a rise in national unemployment rate. The unemployment rate in Australia rose 0.6%, reaching 5.2% in October due to lockdown restrictions in Victoria and New South Wales. The benchmark ASX 200 index closed 42 points or 0.57% lower at 7,381.90, crossing below its 20-day moving average. Earlier today, the index opened lower following weak cues from Wall Street and declined as much as 1.2% during the session. The equity market witnessed broad-based sell-offs today, with 9 of 11 sectors ending in the red zone, barring materials and telecom. The tech sector emerged as the biggest loser by falling 2.6%, mirroring the weaknesses in the US counterpart, Nasdaq. The healthcare settled 2.3% lower, while the energy index dropped 2.1%, owing to a fall in the oil prices. And the crude oil price fell sharply from nearly a 7-year high after the US President Joe Biden's administration looked to reduce energy costs. And among others, AREITs, industrials, consumer discretionary, financials, consumer staples, as well as utilities also witnessed the selling pressure. And meanwhile, the materials sector was the top performer with a 2.1% gain. And the gain in materials space was driven by gold stocks as investors sought inflation hedges. Iron ore miners ended on a mixed note as the price of the iron ore sank below $90 a tonne on Wednesday. And let's look at the top gainers and losers of the day. Aerial imagery technology firm Nearmap topped the ASX losers chart by falling 11.6%, and some of the other top laggards were software business Xero, fintech company Zipco, auto retailing business Eagers, automotive and healthcare equipment manufacturer Ramsay. On the gaining side, the gold producer Chalice Mining emerged as the top performer with a 9.6% gain. The other notable gainers were iron ore miner Fortescue Metals Group, gold miner Regis Resources and mineral explorer Mineral Resources, as well as gold miner Gold Road Resources. Let's shift our lens to the stocks that grabbed the investors' attention today. And shares of gold explorer Chalice Mining continued gaining momentum for the third day following its maiden resource estimate. The share price surged 11.7% to hit a fresh high after gaining 5% in the previous session and 30% on Tuesday. The stock price was also supported by rising gold prices. In an exchange filing on Tuesday, the miner unveiled its mineral resource estimate for the Gonaville deposit at the Julimar project in Western Australia. The company said it has defined a Tier 1 scale pit-constrained maiden resource for Gonville, which includes a mix of oxide, transitional and sulphide mineralisation. And this makes it the largest nickel sulphide discovery in over 20 years and the largest platinum group metals or PGE discovery in Australian history. Shares of BHP Group dropped as much as 2.02% to hit an intraday low of 52 Australian dollars 32 cents, owing to a drop in iron ore. In the overnight trade on Wednesday, the price of iron ore slipped below $90 a tonne amid the falling steel prices and margins in China. BHP, the world's largest miner, in an exchange filing on Thursday, said it had further extended the expiry of its takeover offer for Canadian nickel explorer Noront Resources. And it extended the expiry of its offer from 16th November to 30th November 2021. The mining giant further stated that the company had continued its conversations with Wyloo Metals for its potential support regarding the acquisition of Noront by BHP. And last month, BHP, the world's biggest mining company, hiked its offer from 55 Canadian cents to 75 Canadian cents per share, outbidding Wyloo's earlier offer of 70 Canadian cents a share. And currently, Wyloo owns a 37.5% stake in Noront. Shares of aerial imagery technology business Nearmap tumbled as much as 11.6% to touch a low of $1.90 Australian apiece during the day's trade so far, and the share price tumbled after the company issued guidance for the financial year 2022 at its annual general meeting today. The aerial imagery and location data company pegged an annual contract value in the range of 150 to 160 million Australian dollars on a constant currency basis in the financial year 2022. The company also aims to achieve 20 to 40% ACV or annual contract value growth in the medium to long term in a bid to meet the financial year 22 guidance. Nearmap continued to invest in the business and consumed approximately 30 million Australian dollars in net cash this financial year. And shares of the Aussie media company Nine Entertainment rose 5.4% to touch the day's high of $3.13 Australian amid the earnings optimism. And speaking at the company's annual general meeting, CEO Mike Sneesby said the company was on track to report a 10% growth in profit compared to the corresponding period last year on the back of higher revenue growth from television advertising and publishing businesses. And earnings before interest, tax, depreciation and amortisation, or EBITDA, are also expected to rise by 10% compared to the first half of the prior financial year. And Sneesby further stated that the publishing business was on track to deliver 40 to 50 million Australian dollars in EBITDA for the full financial year, an increase on a prior guidance of 30 to 40 million Australian dollars. Shares of agro business GrainCorp declined 4.6% to hit an intraday low of $6.38 Australian after it released a full year results for the financial year ended 30th September 2021. The company's net profit after tax dropped to 139 million Australian dollars for the year compared to 343 million in the prior year. The company announced to pay 18 cents fully franked dividend, taking total dividends in financial year 21 to 18 cents per share. And the board also announced an on-market share buyback of up to 50 million Australian dollars, which will start in the calendar year 2022. Shares of AusNet Services traded flat after it announced earnings results for the half year ended 30th September 2021, and the net profit after tax dropped 21.4% to 177.5 million Australian dollars compared to the same period a year ago. The revenue also dropped marginally by 0.7% to 1,031.8 million Australian dollars. The Aussie energy company has also declared a total unfranked dividend of 4.75 cents per share, in line with the full year 2022 dividend guidance of 9.5 cents apiece. The company, which has accepted a takeover offer from a group of investors led by private markets giant Brookfield, said the earnings were impacted by lockdown restrictions as well as severe weather events in Victoria. Let's move on now to the next segment, where we take a look east towards the Asian markets performance. Shares in the Asia-Pacific region were trading mostly lower, barring China and Japan, following negative closing at Wall Street in the overnight trade. Inflation scares spooked the market sentiment after data overnight showed the US consumer prices rose at the fastest pace since 1990. The spike in the CPI index rekindles talks for faster Federal Reserve policy tightening. The looming fear about possible defaults of China's Evergrande Group after it failed to make payments on bonds also dented the market sentiment. And South Korea's Kospi was the biggest loser in the regional market, falling as much as 0.5%. Hang Seng's index in Hong Kong was down 0.15%, while Taiwan's weighted index dropped 0.25%. In a similar trend, Thailand's SET composite dipped 0.1%, while the Straits Times index in Singapore traded flat at the time of reporting. India's BSE Sensex also fell 0.4% in the opening deal, tracking the weakness in the Asian peers. Bucking the trend, China's Shanghai composite rose 0.6%, while Japan's Nikkei was trading higher by 0.5%. And meanwhile, The US stocks ended lower for the second day on Wednesday, as higher than expected inflation data reignited fears of a rate hike. And the US Consumer Price Index surged 0.9% in October due to a rise in food and fuel prices, as well as the global supply chain constraints. Core inflation, which is used to decide rates by the US Central Bank, surged 0.6% during the quarter and 4.6% over the year. The global energy crisis has led to a spike in the Brent crude oil prices, which pushed inflation higher, extending the fall for the second day. And the Dow Jones Index dropped 0.7%, while the S&P 500 fell 0.8%. The Nasdaq Composite ended 1.7% lower. And we've reached the last segment of the show. Let's take a quick look over the crypto market's performance. And the cryptocurrencies were trading mostly lower during the early trade on Thursday as investors turned cautious after China Evergrande's group failed to pay payments on bonds. The looming fear about the potential default on the Chinese real estate giant spooked the market sentiment, and the total market cap of global cryptocurrency fell by 2.4% to $2.81 trillion over the past 24 hours. However, the crypto market volume surged nearly 30%, with coins worth $176.5 billion changing hands over the counter. Bitcoin, the world's most popular currency, was trading 2.7% lower at around $64,740, and the price of the world's largest crypto had touched a fresh record high of $68,950 during the US trading hours on Wednesday, following the release of inflation data. The US Consumer Price Index rose 6.2% in October from a year earlier, and the rally in Bitcoin was also supported by Apple CEO Tim Cook, who commented that he has bought cryptocurrencies as a part of his portfolio. And Ether, the world's second largest crypto, was also down 1.3% at $4,630. The coin, linked to Ethereum's blockchain, rallied nearly 70% against the dollar since the start of October, while it had nearly doubled since June this year. Meanwhile, the price of Cardano, the third largest cryptocurrency by market cap, dropped nearly 3%, down to $2.10 US, and the meme currency, Dogecoin, fell as well, over 3%, while Shiba Inu, the self-proclaimed Dogecoin killer, tumbled more than 7%, extending falls for the third day. And other cryptos that witnessed selling pressure today include Binance Coin, Terra, Litecoin, Solana, Tether, XRP, Chainlink, Polygon, and Algorand. The biggest shopping day across the world, Singles Day, is celebrated on the 11th of November every year, and while many New Zealanders have not even heard of it, it's quite a big deal. In New Zealand, the idea of treating oneself has been slow to catch on, as not many New Zealanders are aware of this. And according to reports, 63% of the Kiwis have not even heard of this global shopping event. In 2020, the said shopping event attracted 800 million shoppers across the world, while in 2018, sales worth $46 billion were recorded on the day. But coming to the Kiwi nation, many New Zealand retailers have recognised the sales opportunity which the Singles Day provides, with many major retailers like the Warehouse Group Limited, Briscoe Group Limited, JB Hi-Fi, Farmers, Noel Leeming and more making the most of this sales phenomenon by offering great deals on the day. And happy Singles Day to everyone out there. And if you're not in New Zealand, hope the shopping day goes well. Keep watching Kalkine TV for more market updates. We'll be back tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. with the morning outlook. Till then, stay safe and well. Sage signing off.